All right. As usual, let's do a sound check first. You see what it is. You see what's going on. You see what's goody. Okay. I don't know why I said see what's goody, but whatever. Yeah, had a good day today. Former coworker from my old night job up here in Georgia came over, and we just spent the day together, which was fun. So it was cool. Watch anime and stuff like that. Talked about shit. He corrected me on a lot of stuff when it came to anime. A lot of stuff that just like I am so off when it comes to anime. It's not even funny. All right, my channel. All right, perfect. Sound is good. Check, check, check. But one of the things we were gonna do, I was gonna actually thinking about going to like Mercedes-Benz dealership, and then I just thought about the area where I live. There's no dealership around here. Those cars break down all the time. I want something. If I get it, I'm not gonna like get rid of it unless it's like for a good reason. You know what I mean? But like a vehicle that I just if I didn't have it anymore, excuse me. If I didn't if anything, like my Explorer was like that. And the only reason I would get rid of my Explorer, I owe like 18 grand on it. And actually with the Kelly Blue Book value and Black Book value, it's actually valued around 22, 23 grand. So I'm actually positive on it, which is good. So I'll have a better trade-in value and I can put that towards a down payment. But in terms of like, looking at this vehicle and, going forward and trying to like put something, go forward with it, I do want and / need a truck. Mostly want because there's like some stuff I want to move around the yard, and I want something with a longer bed. I got 18 acres, so I want to haul some stuff as well. Like as I said, I've said before, I wanted to get into land clearing, land purchases. So getting ATV, XTV, trailer, lawn mowing equipment, and all that other stuff. This would be a move in that direction. So that's just something like I wanted to do. So configured this truck, Silverado 2500 or 2022 Silverado 2500 HD. And this, I just want to get like all blacked out. And then a couple other like options, like in terms of the running boards here for like, just to assist you getting into the vehicle. Because this thing sits super high, bro. Oh my God. Jesus, this thing sits super high. I sat in one today and it was just extremely high. I was like, whoa, this is crazy. With these trucks, you can actually order them. So you can just order them and like, even if you don't want them, you can say, hey, listen, it came. We don't want it. The guy said, no problem. We're going to sell it anyway. I was like, all right, cool. So I might go ahead and do this. I went to the Ford dealership and I was kind of disgusted with the way that I was treated. Like, it wasn't rude. It wasn't rude by any means. But I went to the Ford. It was apathy, right? It was a lack of, I went to the Chevy dealership and, there's like, hey, listen, you can go on Chevy.com, configure it like I'm doing now. But one of the things that I didn't know is like, okay, like show me something I don't know kind of feel to it. And that's what I was like impressed by. Like, even though it was kind of like, hey, listen, you can just go to the Chevy site and just do it. But what happens is, my current boss always says like, take off your IT hat, like when he's talking to us, right? Because again, my current boss is also my friend and everything. So he's like always says, take off your IT hat. These people don't know this. And it was never more true until today when I went in there and I'm talking to people and I'm talking to the guys and, the guy starts configuring stuff and he starts, oh, well, you can do this. And I was like, well, my goal is to get a work truck that I can actually move some stuff around the yard, also beat up a little bit. So I don't want it to be flashy or anything else like that. There's a couple things I like to black everything out and all that. But he's like, I was like, I don't want it to be really flashy or anything like that. And I want it to be like, hey, if it takes damage, who gives a fuck, because it's just going to be, I'm going to be moving around. I'm going to get the fucking paint scratched out of it and all this other stuff. This is not going to be some type of garage queen. I'm going to use this shit and move some shit around, you know what I mean? So, oh, sorry. So, but just talking about the seating with a 40-20-40 split. And I'm like, what is that? And how the center console can flip up and it's not like in the middle and it's not like deep or anything like that. And I thought that was really cool that they taught me that, and they went through that process with me. So it was actually beneficial for me to where I can get what I want or even more than what I want and expected, instead of like, oh, later on you find out, damn, why can't I get this option? Or damn, that would have been cool to have. Now I find out, I could turn my seat rest or the center console into an actual seat. And it's just like, whoa, I didn't know that was possible. So that's what's important when you're even, again, let me just put this into IT, right? That's what's important when you're in IT, is that you talk to your clientele, you talk to people that your clientele, your end user. Let's just say it like that. You talk to your end user, not like they're dumb, but like you're an actual educator or teacher. When you actually do things like that and you actually talk to these people, not like they're dumb, not like they're less than, not like they lack and they should know this, so on and so forth. When you talk to them like, hey, I'm here to teach you and make you better, that is, it's so beneficial and it means so much to the end user a lot, especially the ones that are very appreciative, like myself. Like I try not to be ungrateful. Like, I saw that when I went to the Ford dealership, the guy was like, well, you can go to Ford.com. Like, I didn't know, and he doesn't know what I know and what I do and everything else like that. But if I go there, right, if I go to Ford.com, and I go to trims here, right? Like, okay, I can get the gas engine, but then you can get this Allison 10-speed automatic transmission. How is that going to flow down the road? He's instantly trying to get me into one of the used trucks, the used F-250s there. And I'm like, well, I'd like something custom that I could build. He's like, well, you can go to Ford.com and build. Doesn't even really offer to build it. You can kind of feel his vibe. Sheed, what's up, brother? Appreciate you being here. Listen, man, thanks for always showing up and thanks for the things you do for the people in the community, brother. Like so much, just being there as an outlet, a place for people to talk, congregate, and do whatever, that's always a good thing, brother. And I appreciate you for that. So, this is this is kind of big with customer service in general, but yeah, man, always, man, forever and for always, forever and always, right? So, this is a big thing in terms of customer support in general or what's it called? Customer satisfaction, user experience, and things like that. Taking their input, listening to them and what they want. Okay, you see a guy that walks in, he probably doesn't look like he has it. Because when I underdress for everything. I came in there with my freaking Crocs that have the donuts on it. Homer Simpson would be proud. But, I underdress. I don't really do anything. I'm not really flashy or anything like that. But anyways, but I go in there and I'm talking with the guy and he's like, yeah, go to Ford.com. You can do this, this, and this. Cause I came in with the paper from the Chevy dealer, and the Chevy guys, they spent their time with me. They drove me around. They did this, this, and that. And, sadly, a lot of these, a lot of these, what do they call them again? Dealers, yeah. Well, a lot of these dealers, they don't really have much inventory, man. I went out there and I was very surprised. It was like a ghost town. Wasn't much. There wasn't much on display, so on and so forth. Like, I guess all their stuff is getting shipped out into other places. They get a couple used things in, it goes right back out. If you get a Corvette in, man, they're selling that sucker $30,000 over sticker price. If you order it, you're going to have to wait 10 months. So people are paying that premium, especially down in South Florida. So it's just like, I get like, it was crazy that there was really nobody in there, and there's like four or five salespeople there. And I was just like, okay, well, this is kind of crazy. At the Chevy dealer, that is. But even with that, like there weren't any customers in there. So they were, they had me out on the golf cart. They showed me a truck that was already sold so I could see how it is. I'm going in the truck and everything. Like, this thing is already sold. The guy's picking it up in a couple days, whatever, right? But I'm getting the chance to actually see it so I can be enticed to buy something. Well, I go to the Ford dealership. The guy was like, hey, you go to Ford.com. I got this used one out here. It's 72 grand. It's got 30-something thousand miles on it. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, fuck that. I can get a brand new truck in this case right here, 60,000 as configured, or configured to be 60,000. with quote unquote the bells and whistles that I actually want or need for what I'm trying to do. You know, like got the Rhino liner or Chevy Tech liner, whatever they call it. Got the running boards and all this other stuff, blah blah blah, right? And I can get that for 10 grand less, and I can get quote unquote, or 12 grand less, and I can get quote unquote what I want. And there wasn't even like, hey, well, maybe we can configure for something for you. He was like, well, you could take that paper that I had, because I had a printout of like this builder here, because the guy went into his back end builder and then also went into the front end builder, because the back end builder just wouldn't let him choose a couple things. So he went into the front end builder and built it out, and then, you know, walked me through some of the things and the options. He said, hey, listen, get the turbo diesel. It's going to last longer. It's about 10 grand more or so, more than your regular your gas V8. And, you know, he did all that stuff. So I take this paper, go over to Ford, and when I'm talking to the guy, I don't know what Ford has and what they call these certain things. What are comparable packages? What can I expect from a Ford product, the Ford product line? What would be the right Ford product line for me to pick? And when I was actually picking this, I was going to when I was going to these trims, you know, I think it was like in WT, and then I think it was the packages. Yeah, in the package, I picked okay, there we go. So if you go to trims and go to custom, I didn't know I was going up here in this right here, and then they have like the Avalanche package, right? Or no, the Alaskan package. So it's like, all right, cool. I got the Alaskan package, and like I'm liking it, but it doesn't have all the things that I want. And there's, you know, I like the certain wheels or whatever, and that was kind of cool. But then I couldn't do certain things, and I was like, well, you know, how can I get past that? Well, just go down here. If I was being a little bit more of an explorer, I could look down here and then click on whatever. And with custom, I can do, you know, the sensor and backup and all this other stuff without having the chrome bumper, which I didn't want. So it's like, okay, how can I do that in the Ford website? I have to explore. I have to do all these things. As a salesperson, as a web developer, as a consultant, as a technician, what have you, listen, you have to translate these things. People don't know what, for instance, if I go to packages or exterior, I don't know, 11,555, 11.5 thousand, or 11.5 GVWR. What does that mean? What are the problems that I would have with that? So when you're talking like IT, right, and like people want to understand email flow, they want to understand programming and how, defining variables or declaring variables, and then the order in which you do that, also hoisting and how all that works. And even if they don't want to know it, it's like, okay, well, these are the considerations that I have to have. This is how I'm going to manage your expectations, so on and so forth. And I was just like, this guy, I don't know what he's expecting from the user. Like, we come in like, hey, listen, I don't expect you to, I don't want you to think that I'm dumb, but at the same time, you have to treat me like I don't know, which is different than dumb, right? You know, some people just are not all there, but you have to also treat me like there's some things I just don't know. I don't know it. Like, it's like, I looked at it, and when I thought about it, and my friend and I, we came back to my house, and we went out to eat, came back to my house, and I'm talking to him. I was like, bro, if you look at the customer service that we received and the way that guy treated us, what would make you go back? And he's like, yeah, I wouldn't. And I was like, exactly. Why would I spend my money, my $1,000+ a month on this vehicle and go through this guy? Why would I do that? Like, what would make him, like, what would make me dumb enough to fucking go and do that? Why? Because I want a Ford? Fuck Ford. You know what I mean? So think about that when a person comes to you and they say, hey, listen, man, you know, why would I go to Michael and actually have him, or Young Grizzly's channel, and actually have him, you know, show me a little bit about coding and so on and so forth, if he's an asshole to me in the chat, or berates me when it comes to anything that I put into the chat, instead of taking what I say in and say, hey, listen, I don't understand what you're saying. Can I get some type of clarification? Or flames me in the comment section for one reason or another. It's just like, why would I go to this person's channel on a regular basis? Right? The same thing goes when it comes to any type of business, customer service, your channel and interaction with people that are in the chat, so on and so forth. For me, it's not an act. For some people, it is. So it's just like, I look at all this stuff, man. And when that guy did that, I said, man, fuck this shit. I left and I was just like, bro, I'm not going back there. Like, the fucking lot looked dead anyway. And you want to, like you said, oh, listen, order everything online. And, like as if like you're not a salesman. If I was to order everything online, what would be the purpose of you? If I was to do everything in an automated system in an automated way, what would be the purpose of you as an IT individual? So anyways, all that to say, poor customer service will give you issues in the long run. I'm going to most likely trade in my Ford Explorer and get a 2500 HD. Yes, it is a gas guzzler, but I also work from home. Speaking of work from home, I have taken the offer for my new job. I was offered 6 figures and a little bit into getting into the 6 figures. Way past it. So got into the 6 figures. I didn't like what they offered me in the first place. So I counter offered, said, hey, listen, can I, get this much? And they said, hey, listen, that doesn't fit in the budget. I said, okay. They gave me $5,000 more over what they offered. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll take it. No problem. Their NDA, reviewing non-disclosure agreements and things like that is very important. So I looked at their NDA and there's some things I didn't like. But when you look at NDAs, unless it's like a larger government agency, if it's just a regular company, there's a couple things that you have to consider when you look at an NDA. It's going to be restrictive usually, unless you're a higher level employee, and then also you kind of just go back or you ask for feedback or changes or something like that. So one of the things is say, hey, listen, you can't work for another job part time or anything like that. And I mean, how would you know? And if you do know, your HR is going to know more than anything because of your tax documentations. I think it's your W-4 that you have to file to see how many places are you employed, or you put 1 if you're employed somewhere else, that type of stuff, right? So it's just like, how would they really know if I am employed somewhere else? Also, when it comes to freelance stuff, 1099s and all that other stuff, if you run your stuff through an actual company and collect money and, have to file a 1099 of some sort, or you're independent contractor, you have to sign a 1099 or a W-9 for your client / employer. They won't really know. You have to, report it properly for your tax documentation. So that's one thing you have to do. But, that's like, yeah, whatever. I did have a conversation. Maybe I can get the recording of it because I sent it to my coworker a while back. And I think it's pretty. It's one thing it taught me is that when you talk about NDAs and people actually, enforcing, or companies enforcing an NDA, the way they enforce NDAs is when they enforce NDAs is usually when you try and go after their customer base, you try to defame them or defamation or discourage people going to them. And you try to do anything or steal intellectual property, take customers, and discourage them in the marketplace, or defame them in the marketplace in some way, shape, or form. That's when people start to really go after you in terms of, an NDA or something like that. Also, I looked at their social media restrictions. So one of the things I'm gonna have to do is just put at the bottom, this all this doesn't reflect my employer's or my opinions don't reflect my employer, that type of stuff. Excuse me. And that's mostly when you're actually doing any type of public speaking or talking about certain things. Like if you're doing your Instagram, Twitter, and you're, posting selfies or anything else, then that's where, that type of stuff comes out. So you just have to be clean on that. And I only do stuff on YouTube, and I don't do some of the more inflammatory stuff on my channel, for instance. And I don't really go to many channels. Like the last channel, I was really on panels with is like Ed or something like that. And, unless, my shit blows up somehow, it's not gonna be a problem. Still have to watch your tone just to make sure you can keep your job, but First Amendment rights make all the difference. But that's where things like having FU money, having your 3 to 6 months worth of expenses saved up and sitting somewhere, and having also assets that you can sell in case of emergency or anything else like that. So having your emergency fund, having your surplus or your reserves in terms of all your monthly expenses, mortgage, and so on and so forth, and then also having assets to back you as well. So having those like 3 layers of defenses, if somebody comes after you, it's just like, yeah, I fucked up. I don't want to lose my job, my source of income, but screw it, I got the money. So that's why all that stuff is important. So I did get a new job, so I got to sign the actual the offer letter and go from there. So yeah, it's going to be really good. And I think it's going to be really good. And I like the team and the guys. And then, also it's like, it's a job at the end of the day. So you got to deliver. And there's a lot of things that I think I can do, but there's a lot of stuff. There's a whole bunch, even more stuff that I just don't know yet. So that's another reason for the truck, because this is going to be like $1,000 a month in terms of like a truck payment. And I'll probably make some extra payments as well to make it happen a lot faster. Also get a steel metal building and some other stuff down here around the property. One other thing is getting a dang gazebo. Oh yeah. Where is it? Well, that's cool. Yeah, I'm gonna be getting a gazebo, which is gonna be like freaking sick, and I'm already like geeked about the idea in terms of getting something really nice out for outside, and also doing more programming and other work outside as well. So yeah, looking to get this 12 foot by 20 foot gazebo, and getting that put in, and getting the slab poured for that and some other stuff. So make the outside look a little bit better, along with the furniture that I put out and stuff like that. Need to talk to Alonzo Hall. Who's that? I never heard of that person. Is he somebody in the space, or somebody that talks about computers and stuff? Or is he like somebody a contract lawyer? Because I did have a contract lawyer look at an old NDA that I had for my last job, and one thing she said, that a lot of NDAs are so broad that they're not even really enforceable in court unless they have like some direct knowledge or proof of direct what's it called, direct damage to the company in some way, shape, or form, such as like you've defamed them so they lost contracts because of you, or you took their customer out from underneath them or something like that, So it's stuff like that that you got to like really worry about when it comes to NDAs. And what I'm going to do is like, I'll actually make a mental note to put up my recording. I have to edit it, I think, but put up my recording in terms of talking with a contract lawyer about the NDA that I had a couple years back. Because at the time I was running my computer consulting company, also writing software and stuff. And one of the things in the NDA that the recent NDA that I was looking at is like any software or intellectual property or results or work derived from computer systems, or derived from company resources, aka computer systems, any type of technology or other people in the company that you worked with. It's like you did research and development for their research in their research and development lab, and then you published that work as your own, or you took that work and then built on top of it. So like people leaving Tesla and taking certain documents with them and stuff like that too. So that was one of the things. And then they also said, of course, in terms of the contract lawyer I talking to her about it, and she was like, yeah, Mike, unless you're going after their customers or talking bad about them that'll cause them a loss of business, there's nothing you have to worry about. There's nothing much they can actually really do to you. You can go anywhere and do whatever the hell you want, as long as you just don't mess with the employer. And if you're not that type of person, then that's just not going to happen. It's just really not. So when you're working with NDAs, that's like one of the things that like that was said. I was like, oh, okay, cool. But yeah, I'm gonna get this gazebo here eventually. It's not too bad in price, but that's just one of the things I'm gonna do. Again, a lot of debt payoff is gonna happen. I'm going to. There's one thing I won't be worried about. I won't be worrying about paying off the truck anymore, especially if I'm gonna turn it in and then actually make money off of it. I'm just gonna sell it and then use that money as a down payment and call it a day. Um, yeah, and then I have to worry about taxes and all that other stuff. So, yep. But yeah, that's what I'm going to look at in terms of getting this vehicle and getting that going. Uh, Pictures. So in terms of art, this is what I got. I actually like this one. It's pretty funny. I like the colors and everything, and like just the faces on there. There's just a lot in here that you can look at. Like, why is this blade in here? What is that? Is an octopus or a snake? It looks like an octopus most likely, but everything's in the water. The colors, the vantage, the viewpoint, and everything like that. What is this guy doing? He looks like he's catching something. Okay, I just noticed that. So it's like, you're seeing all this and like this is pulling them down, like, so I like little pieces like this. I like little pieces like this because it kind of shows it shows a little bit more excitement and more into it. And then I think there's one after this. So this was pretty cool. And then this was pretty cool. I saw this a second ago while I was opening up another new tab, and like this was there. I was like, oh man, this is super nice, man. But I like this color. I like the feel into this. A couple riding a couple on a bike, and then they're really into it, having a genuine smile and enjoying themselves, so on and so forth. So I thought that was really cool. All right, so I gotta keep this here, and I gotta print this. Summary. I'll keep it somewhere else because I want to like look at it and scrutinize that a little bit more. But yeah, I get a gazebo. That's gonna happen. Yeah. All right. Cool. So. All right. So, title of the stream is "Where Were We?" I haven't coded in a while on stream. I have some content that I've recorded, but I haven't put up. So let's get back into this here. How to restart my systems and stuff like that too. So there's so I got to set like my system's restarted because the power went out. So we got to set up our different screen sessions again and get that looking right. Also, one of the things I'll be doing with a little extra money coming in, because I'll be, even with the new truck payment at $1,000 per month, that's going to be with everything and stuff paid off as well, like getting some loans paid off and all that. I'm probably going to still have about $2,200 free. So I'll be investing that money and putting that in the market. So I'll essentially get the truck and everything and then still have about $2,200 or so, almost $2,000. Yeah, no, a little bit over $2,000 free, because I'll probably look to get a steel metal building as well and get that paid off, or get that set up. It's going to take about 14 weeks to order and build and all that other stuff. So just getting some stuff done around the house, and then finally get what was the other thing? Finally get a lawnmower and all that other stuff. I was actually looking at Mercedes and stuff, as I said, and it's just like, this doesn't make any sense. So getting things that would actually benefit me and work a little bit better in the long run, and doing doing things that'll set me up for future success and in some of the other endeavors that I want to do. All right, so npm run. I don't know my commands, so we're going to do log instance. All right, great. So we got our logging set up, and we're going to create a new screen. cd optifact. Another scene. Our screen. cd optifact. Excuse me. What am I doing here? All right. 1, 2. All right. So in this case, we're working with modify entry. So now if I look up, can't show the Postman. Restart that sucker. Half hour later, we're finally getting to the code, right? That's nice. Okay. Was working with like the ClickUp API this week too. Ooh. Gotta look at all the fields. All right, cool. What the fudge? Yeah, that's fine. So in terms of our API, I don't remember, like what we got to do is of course create the associated fields for everything. So in terms of our API, how do I add certain entries? So add an entry. Also, I think there's code that I have to do on the back end. There's a couple other things. I probably should like rewatch the old stream as well. But let's go nano server controller. Oh, it's like I never left. So add, and then we are going to do entry. Model for entry. Also, I want to look at that model. So server model schema. I also want to look at the validation for that model as well. So entry, entry. So in this case, for the schema, what gets validated is it expects a list name long. No, this is a list. Sorry. Account entry. There we go. It expects a account UUID, which is going to be supplied. That means we have to pick a proper account. How are we going to keep track of this? Well, let's test the backend first. So we'll test non-GUI and then go from there. But in terms of what gets sent or what gets submitted, okay. Alonzo is a YouTuber in planning life insurance, retirement, and investment. Oh, okay. Yeah. Alonzo. Okay. That might be something I want to talk about or talk to him about and bring him on the channel if he's up for it. Especially in a part of the MGTOW retirement series. In fact, let me just check him out real quick. Thanks for that, Sheed. Alonzo Hall. And from investing. Okay, wow. Looks like Graham Stephan got banned from investing. All right, I guess you make too much money. Oh, let me check this out here. God dang. Man, I swear the stuff they putting on TikTok, the little thirst traps that they doing. Yeah, these kids is in trouble. You know, people talk about over sexualization, sexual objectification, and over sexual exposure to sexual explicit content. You know, like, bro, these kids don't even have to find like, you know, that porn site or anything like that. They could just like, oh, mom, I was just on YouTube. And they could be on their mom's phone and doing that type of stuff, man. So all this type of stuff is just out there. Jesus. All right. So Alonzo Hall. Let's see. Oh, okay. 374 subscribers. Damn, really? That's it? I guess he just started. but he has like a lot of videos. He's like a ton of videos. I'm gonna need a bag for it. RIAs offering crypto. Time to fix your resume. Chase is hiring. Okay. Joanne the scammer. Get the kibosh. All right. I'll ask around about him as well. But yeah, I might connect with him. He has less subscribers than me, so it might be mutually beneficial, just for one his information, and two, maybe exposure. So especially if you recommend him too, that's another thing where it's just like um, that's already like a green flag for him on that tip. Alonzo Hall. So this is his YouTube channel, guys. Go ahead and check him out. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. I don't really get much comments, but if people want to comment on that, that'd be cool. That'd be great, and that'll help me, quote unquote, vet him in a shorter period of time, because I gotta, I got to actually watch some of his content and see. I like to know about the people, not on some like, see if this dude is on, he's on the same page as me or some shit like that. Just really just understanding them so I can actually ask meaningful questions that would be beneficial, that would make the conversation flow better, and then also reveal some things about him to other people, and then make things a little bit nicer too. So yeah, that'll be kind of cool. Is I'll probably send out an interview request to him, and then that'll be something that'll be really nice. So yeah, Alonzo Hall, the All-Star Advisor. Okay. Cool. Guys, go ahead and check. Let's audit your 401k. Oh, I'm already liking that. Yeah, 33-minute video on that. Oh, hold on. I should just show you guys. Yeah, so this is his channel. He's got quite a few videos. Kevin Samuels, Cash Doll, and the Price of Fame. Okay, so he's got, stuff about that. I think I've seen this brother before too. So he probably does like kind of like I do, where it's a mix of stuff in the Black community. Like he has his overarching goal, or his foundation, I would say, and then he has all the other stuff that he adds on top of it. So like for me, it's like personal finance, retirement, and coding and stuff like that, and then also mental health for men in the space. So that's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I'll be consuming some of his content tonight, man. Thank you for that, Sheed. All right, cool. So in terms of like what's expected here, first it goes through the validation, right, for our entry endpoint. So it's going to go through our validation. So let's see what our validation requires. Account UUID, entry description, entry type, value, and then entry UUID. So, okay. And then entry UUID will default and put in a UUID for us. So even with that, what we could do is not put the entry UUID, but we do need the account UUID. And one of the things we're going to have to do is we're going to have to actually do an account lookup to validate that. No, we don't, because if I look at our form, I should actually have see the account type: primary, secondary, institution. I don't need any of that. I just need the actual account itself. So is this a part of an account that's already in modify accounts? I should have TransUnion. Along with that TransUnion, it should have more information about it. So do I do a database lookup? So when you're dealing with NoSQL, which is a non-relational database, one of the better things to do, instead of trying to say, okay, I need to do a database lookup on this information over here, and then pull it from over here, and then combine all this other stuff, it's best to do the lookup as needed. So for instance, I need the account UUID, and I need that to associate to one of these accounts here, right? Well, how do I do that? What I would do is I would have an account object. So overall, all right. actually close out some of these files because that's for a project that is done. I had a pretty cool project that I had to do on my day job. I mean, most of the projects are cool. I had to turn a CSV file or turn text files, various text files, into one large XLS spreadsheet. That took me probably about 2 weeks or so. And yeah, that worked out pretty well, I think. All right, cool. So if I have this JSON object, right, and I have all my account information. So for instance, I have, okay, let's just copy over that. And the account UUID is this. What I would write, like this is what account entry submission object, right? But what I would save to the actual backend is probably something like I would save this, but I wouldn't have an account UUID. I would I would replace that object, and then at the bottom of it, I'd have account, right? And then that would be an object that has, if I do get account all send. So at the bottom of it, I would have this object here, like it would look like that. Right here. All right, and then you do this because with non-relational databases, it's easier to actually have everything within the object itself. Probably take out the timestamp. Yeah, maybe I'll take out the timestamp. We'll see. But it's better to have all the information itself within that object at the point of creation, because now I don't have to look up all that information. All that stuff is contained. It's like one database lookup. I don't have to combine lookups or anything like that, or go through like, a combination of lookups or anything like that. Also, one thing that's nice about this is that maybe what I do is I will take the UUID, see if the UUID exists. And if it doesn't exist, I will, mark this as like account name and then maybe put a slash through it or something like that. Because formerly it was TransUnion. So at the time of me putting this entry in, this was the account information. And that's kind of one of those like user experience things to where I would do something like, how would I show you this? Let us open up a Google Docs. Oh, this is cool. What is this? Klon City. Sorry, Klon City and the Great Portal. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, hopefully I won't reveal anything here. Oh, all right. We got Google Sheets. Yeah, this one should be okay to open. Looking for Google Docs and a blank document. So I'd probably do something like account name or TransUnion, and then TransUnion, and then I'd probably do something to the text. I think it's in format text and strike through. So I do something like that. And then what that signifies is like, account no longer exists. I might even actually associate a class with this. Want that. So I might associate a class with this object. I think it's Shift 5 or S. No, block that. Wow, I can actually like wow, I didn't know you can do dictations. That's cool as hell. That's what's up. Let me do that. I want to try that now. So I Control Shift S. Oh, what did I write? Control Shift S or 5? Wow, how do I do that again? You know, I like doing keyboard shortcuts, and one thing about keyboard shortcuts is when you voice typing Control Shift S. Oh, Control Shift S. Bitch, I'm doing it. You start to discover more things. Like I never knew that this feature was available. So click to speak. All right, and then I have to done. Oh, maybe I can't do it. Like, hopefully my sound is still working. Wow. Give me a sec. Let me restart this because I want to do this. Hello. My name is Michael, and I'm dictating this through using the voice to speech option in Google Docs. Yeah, that's tight. That's tight. Hold on. Let me see if like I don't know if my sound is still working. Hopefully it didn't like totally take over the mic, because sometimes you can't have two devices using one device, especially in Linux. Like there's like all types of locking and stuff. Through using the sweet. Yeah, I never knew they had like a voice dictation feature. Nice. Doesn't have to be perfect, just has to be there and you can use it and utilize it. That's cool. I think it's Alt Shift S. Insert format text. Alt Shift 5. Yeah, it is Alt Shift 5. Okay. All right. So this right here, I'd probably have like a class, right, associated with this, and it might be you know, maybe Bootstrap has something. You can do like strike through or something like that, or strike or stroke. I forgot what it is, but strike through or a something as like you got to try and do these in like so it's not too verbose. Unmatched account, you know, account or non-existent. You know, so I might have like a class that says that, and then have like TransUnion in there, and give dev. Now y'all get the gist, but I just had to do it anyway and actually type it out. And then what that would cause is strike through to happen. So Alt Shift 5. And that will cause strike through to happen on the div itself, so that if an account is non-existent, it would apply the appropriate class for it. Or maybe even which would be somewhat nicer, right? Like, or no, do both. So maybe even strike through as well as red text color. So it doesn't exist, right? And maybe even like, you know, that could be a link, So if it does exist, non-existent. If it does exist, shift 5. We will text highlight that in green, as well as have an ahref tag to some location, right? And we do that because we do that because what we want to do here is maybe link that to like list all entries for this account, right? Like we could list all entries for this account, like that URL, that would be the URL, right? So like list all entries, and then we could pass it, you know, all the entries for this account, like so list entries, and then we can give it account UUID, right? So then, or let's do this with the real account UUID. Jihad. So all the entries that have this account UUID in it, we are going to. I don't want to do that yet. I don't want to do that yet. And then use 24. Great. Ooh, 24. So anything with, you know, we'd have an endpoint and we'd feed it this URL, and then this would go to a get endpoint or something like that, or like we can do get, so we can fall in line with our current structure. So get list entries, and then, you know, from there, you know, go from there. So we can list all entries by UUID. If we look at APIs, collections, we look at fact, and then we can do get entry, get entry by entry UID by account UID. So we already have this. So get entry account UID, and we would have a nice page for it or something like that. Really, bro? That's how you're living in terms of like this tech side, bro. Jesus. All right. Yeah, let me view full screen. Didn't work. Didn't do what I wanted it to do. Okay. All right. View. Hold on. Let me get the view mode. Print layout. No. Show equation, full screen, show document outline, show ruler. Can I zoom in on this? Yeah, I'll just zoom in on the page, and that'll work. Let's back up, too close. All right, so 18. Cool. Yeah, so I might have something like this. So get account. Yeah, well, I might have something like, so get. No. This would be the endpoint. But I might. I'll figure out the structure for this. It can go any which way you want, right? But essentially, this would be the URL. This would be the API URL that's going to be hit. It's going to be something like that. That'll be the structure. But in terms of the actual page URL, that could be like list. Hold on. That would be like list. Damn. I would probably have like one main page that would list certain things. Yeah, like you could work on the logic of the page, right? Like that list page in terms of the JS on there. So I might have something that takes in the path name, and then you know, that be an array or something like that, and then I take the piece of that. So path name would equal array of, so there's gonna be like some data in there, path, right? And then based off of path name, or no, let path name. Also, it's good to do these things. As you see that I'm not typing this. This is something I'm conceptualizing, all just so I can actually get my list entry page or my add entry page like situated, because then I got to figure out, okay, what am I doing later on and how is it going to look later on? Like, yeah, I'm going ahead. I'm going way a lot of steps ahead of myself. But now I can say, okay, when I code purposely because I want the result to look like this. So you have your ultimate ultimate goal, your ultimate result, and then once you have that ultimate result, now you're looking at it and you're like, oh, okay, well, if I want this result, what are the actions that I'm doing to get that result? Again, I had that video, non-coding but mindset, a mindset video, and it's talked about don't argue preferences, argue results, right? Like if a person has their preference, that's okay. Like I would like to be like a buffer person or a more muscular person. But then what are my results? Am I getting that? And you have to be honest with yourself and say, no, you are not. And why are you not getting that? Because you're not doing the actions necessary. Like, okay, I went out to eat. I ate a greasy burger today. Did you work out at all today, Mike? No, I had a friend over. Is that a really good excuse? Well, it's the excuse. It's what happened, right? But holding myself accountable and saying, hey, listen, I need to go ahead and go harder the next day, work a little bit harder, or do this, so on and so forth. Or after this, do a workout, blah, blah, blah. So when you look at, your result, right? Like when you look at your result, you can say all you want about your preferences and everything else, but your result or your desired result should shape the things that you do is the point of all that. And, plugging a previous, it's actually a YouTube short, plugging a short that I want you guys to go and watch, as well as, making it a little bit relevant to this. Like my ultimate goal is to possibly have a list page. On that list page, excuse me, on that list page, I'm going to take let, and then I'm going to put UUID, right? Because I don't know what UUID this is. I'm going to determine it by a regular expression, right? So I know with my UUIDs, E equals entry, right? A equals account. And what was the other one? Entry, account, and entry, account, and then I think it's like list or something like that was my other one. Account, entry, and list. All right, cool. And then L equals list, right? So my UUID would be path name, and I think the URL or the path, the actual, this section here would be the last one, or maybe it's like path name dot length -1. And this is how you get the last item in an array. So path name, and then it's like path name dot length. This would not be good. Path name dot length -1, and that'll be the last item in the array. That's the UID, and then I might have like a regex UID regex. And if I have that regex, in that regex, I might have I might have like a match, like I might have a function. Right? And then that function, and this will be a simple function. I won't be using my structure. I just want to write it out. Determine UID type. And that would take a string, And then in that string, if I could do a whole bunch of ifs, I could probably do this better with let's see. Okay, let's work through this. So if string string dot slice, yeah, string dot slice 0. If string dot slice 0 equals, and then we might return URL, get URL, and then let get, we'll do a let get URL equal string, or empty string, and then we'll assign get URL. We'll assign that to whatever the endpoint is. So get entry account UID, and there's a lot of different ways you can do this. This is just the way I'm choosing to do that in terms of like what I'm comfortable with, in terms of my coding style. That was wrong. It's the wrong spot for it. Get URL. And I like how they're hovering over, man. I do not know what they're doing. Sometimes they do like landing missions in the airport behind my house. Hopefully one day it's like, hopefully they don't start doing like freaking big ass jets in there and stuff like that and just screw my Zen up. I won't have freaking airplanes all over it, like coming in all the damn time. But no house is perfect. Cities get bigger and build and all types of other stuff. So that's what happens. So gonna use a template literal for get URL. This is kind of not freaking me out, but I do not like the size of this. Yeah, that's cool. So get URL, and even if you did like this, define the string, define a variable like that, you can in terms of the empty variable. So if the string equals, excuse me, if slice 0 equals the account UUID, so if it equals A, then do this, right? And then you can actually do another thing. You can do like dot match, dot includes, but we want to actually have slice 0, right? So a slice 0, and you can even do slice 0 and 1, or 0 through. I think you could do. Let me use rate. JS dot slice. So let's look that up, and you can take a string and slice it. Method returns a shallow copy of a portion of an array, into a new array object selected from the start to end. So, maybe I don't want to slice it. I want to splice it. Splice it. Shift splice. Methods changes the contents of an array by removing or splicing existing elements. So splice 1 0 inserts at no. Oh, maybe I want to split. Damn it! Not always, but I forget some of these things because dot split. It's an ordered list of substrings. Okay, so I'll probably do a dot split. Split. And with the split, In fact, let's do this. We'll just use a JS fiddle, and we'll go ahead and try this code out a little bit. So I know my array is, or I know my string is going to be this, right? So, and I'm using JS fiddle more, especially for like just testing little small bits of code. It's just working out a little bit better for me. Hopefully you guys can like read that. So let string equal, again, like I'm going to throw this away in a second. Like this is just me testing something and how I should deliver that data to the next step. And then if I do string let match, and this will be within the function. Actually, let's do this. We will define the function. So that string means like, you know, where the function is already defined, or no, not the function, but why is that messed up? Anyways, this string is, you know, the path name. We've already extracted that from it, and we're just putting in string, and I'll convert this to S. S, and then return get URL return. I don't know why my return doesn't look good or doesn't like it. Well, whatever. If a get URL is going to equal that, and I guess there's an issue with the get URL, and that URL would be account UUID, and that would be string. Okay, that's why it's messed up. All right, cool. Fixed it. All right. If I run this and then console.log string, and it should show up in the console over here. All right, well, it doesn't let me adjust it, but all right, cool. I can adjust the result. Can I adjust this now? Okay, no, I can't. All right. And as far as match, we won't do that anymore. So if f split 0 equals a, get URL. And it's good to like have this in your mind, at least know where to look up certain things. Like, oh, okay, I don't think it was splice or slice. I thought that was wrong. And I was like, okay, well, what is right? All right, look it up. And then you find out like, oh, okay, no, it's not. It's actually split is what I want. So that's nice. And let's go ahead and run. Fiddle class, go to line, syntax error, unexpected token, invalid or unexpected token, right? So, ooh, what is the problem? Oh, it does tell us some stuff here. Unexpected, nothing, okay. Get URL, right? Unexpected, oh, okay. Double quotes. That's another thing I gotta look up, is just the use of quoting and develop a standard around that, or accept the standard, if you will. That's one thing I gotta get right. All right, cool. Run it. So nothing, right? So return get URL. Get URL. It didn't find anything. It saw the string. So console.log s.split. And oh, okay. I think with this, well, split, I don't think I need anything. I do need, though, split should produce an array. And let's see, in terms of documentation, I think I can do split without anything. But I do need to do the parentheses because it's the function. So that's one thing. So, and that's why this doesn't work, I think. Yeah, there we go. Let's actually take that out. Take that out. Cool. Right. Nothing. All right, cool. Console.split, s.split, and then if return get URL. So, all right, cool. That should be an array. Oh, wow. So it's splitting. I know. Oh man, I guess I have to pass nothing at least, and then it should give me that. Great, and then equals a. So I have to split it. I have to add at least single quoted. Nothing. We'll do double quoted here, right? All right. So double quoted, nothing, and then split 0. Oh, okay. We gotta do it here as well. All right. And then that should catch our if statement and give us our URL. Perfect. Boom. So all that to say, I'm going to throw this code away, but JS Fiddle is good for that. But then what I'll do is I'll have just a bunch of guard statements, and I might have like if A E and then L and then list. Excuse me. Entry, and that'll be the URL that I'm going to use. So depending on what goes in there, right? So then you can see get list URL would be the list UUID as opposed to account UUID. So that's going to be how it's going to eventually look in terms of like passing all this information around. And then once it gets to this point, determine UUID string. So like let URL or let API URL equal that here, and then API URL in its place. This is the same thing. So a little small refactoring, right? Like applying this, or not applying this, but putting this into a variable, or assigning this to a variable, this output to a variable, so that we can actually use it, manipulate it, do whatever else we need to, and also write a little bit cleaner code so we don't have like determine string as our URL, and just in case we need to do any like pre-processing or any other steps. Once we have that, then we can push this into Axios and do all types of other stuff. With that being said, so we got that. I don't plan on saving this fiddle. Oh, so then when I have this, then based off of whatever this string is here, then I'll go ahead and load whatever that is on the page and load different, what's it called? Different structure to the overall output. And when I do a different structure to the overall output, that should give me like a desired effect of some sort. I can probably do like a query of 25 items, especially if it's like getting accounts or if it's getting list entries. I could do the first 25, first 100. I usually like to do the first 100 because I want to get a little bit more information, and that shouldn't be too hard or taxing. All right, cool. So now like I can look at my entries again and look at how I'm going to do that. In this case, yeah, we went through that. And then now, with as I said, based on if it's non-existent or something like that, it can't be found, then I'll give it non-existent, the non-existent class, and I'll do a strike through or something like that. So let's label this Obfuscate. What is the name of the string? There we go. Live coding. Ideas. So then what I'll do also in this is I will save the code from the JS fiddle and go from there. And I also have the video, of course, but that'll be how it pretty much plays out. That way I can like look back at this and go from there. But yeah, I think that'll be it. Yeah, I don't think I need it anymore. Cool. So that should be saved, and I can get rid of this JS fiddle and not save anything there. Go from there. So now I can go to further planning, right? Like, or get back to further planning. So I want to actually put in an entry. I will not need the UUID, or the UID will have to be supplied. So for it to be supplied, I have to actually get the account, or get a list of accounts, and then go from there. So first, let's go back to this. Now that I know I need, let's go back to the scratch pad because I don't know what I need. I did a lot of other stuff, but I don't totally know what I need. So I need for entry, I need account list drop down. Okay, sorry. Account list drop down. Account list drop down. E description. E type. E value. Now with that, let's look at also some of the backend stuff, right? So we have what we need for our validation. So we need the account UUID, which we'll get from an account list dropdown. Description, type, value, those are all strings. So those would be text boxes. Value should be a number. So I need to make sure that text box the value is type number. Oh, number, timestamp, man, timestamp, man. Timestamp will be it'll be put in itself. Entry UUID undefined. Yeah, so if I set it to undefined, then the validation will put that. Yeah, there's something that I have to do here that I have to remember. Let's look at that. So, because that's something I did previously, and I do that for the way how I save this information, which is why I don't. I was gonna say I don't have accounts anymore with that, so that's wrong. Because the account should be this account UID, save, and then yeah, I gotta fix this here. Something here I gotta fix that I totally forgot about. But if the entry description is blank or anything like that, then I could just put blank. Entry type, and then value will be 0 if it's not there, and entry and defined. This is why the stream is named Where Were We? Because I gotta figure out where the hell I was with this. There was something about that, but anyways, moving on. I'll figure it out later. Keep things flowing. Entry and entry UUID. Sorry, my mind was wandering. Okay, this will update UUID as well. Yeah, there's something about this right here where you have this object in terms of entry and you have it as undefined. If it's undefined, it should default for you. I think that's what happens here, and that's what's going on with that. And then the save should happen here, or then it should go forward and actually do the save. So you don't have to produce the validation, or the schema, I should say, produces the entry UUID for you, right? Because then here, that's a schema, and then let's go to validation. And account entry validation, list entry validation, account entry. Okay, yeah, cool. Account entry. So account entry expects value, type, description, and UUID, because I have to have the UUID. So that's all I really need in terms of like what I got to pass to the back end, and then how I'm going to get all that data. All right, cool. So got all that figured out, rediscovered some stuff, re-remembered some stuff there, recalled some stuff there. So cool. Now, all right. So what I need to do here is, once I have, since I know what I need, now I can go to my front end and start designing some stuff there. Do here. So I should not make it to where it's like you can't click away from that, but I guess it's not a big deal because this still pops up. So yeah, let's see. It might be something a hill that I don't need to really die on. So I go to a nano server and then view public JS, and then fat, and then which one it is, modify entry JS. So I'm doing add entry, and that pops up. If we look at our process, as the page loads, it runs code, it executes code. So this, if the failure, default entry, add error prompt. All right, so add entry prompt, I should say. So we're going to find that function, and we're going to edit whatever it calls, because I think it calls a generate function. So generate options. Right. So function generate options, generate add entry prompt. So generate options there. Ooh, do we have everything in this? This is what we need here. Empty list payload, input fields, account, replace account, input fields, sorted lists, empty list payload. I don't think I need that. Yeah, all right, good. I commented out what I didn't need. So what we need is in here, and I got my buttons at the bottom. All right, so input list, I should have, so it takes an array of lists, generate options, list name. I don't need these lists. I just don't need them. So I had to generate 3 of them. So what I do with things like this, especially since like, I want to like get her going again, I have my account name. I have this for generate options. So this subfunction, no, I don't. Okay, done. I'm going to have my input fields, and then list payload sort. And these are all my input fields here. And then we'll have the name. So input fields dot for each equals account name and account description. So in this case, I need this here. All right, cool. We're finally getting somewhere. Entry name. Ooh. I hate being lost, picking up old code bases, but that's totally my fault, of course, right? Working in and out. So that's just another reason why I need to make sure that, I stay on top of this type of stuff and always find some way to do the work. So there'll be a problem here because what I'm figuring right here, it says it does a replace for account and takes that out and replaces it with whatever, replace it with nothing. So then you only see this. So let's test that. So cool. Entry name, entry description. Let's move that to be a little bit bigger. So entry name, description. Also, I see here that I don't need these, so I'll get rid of those. Let's fix the entry part here to where it's not account, because I'll just reuse code a lot. Entry. So with the entry, cool. So name, description, value, and then account primary. So I have my input fields, and then I have my if sorted list is equal to 0, else await sorted list. So in this case, I should have account institution type primary sorted list. So let's look at where that comes from. Sorted list is going to be list.payload.sort list.length. So let's look at lists. That is, I don't need lists, I need accounts. So let me make sure my endpoint is right. So get account all, get account, not accounts. So perfect. And then once I have this, now I can, let's see what we get here. Account entries, items container. So, all right, prompt, reading match, undefined. Okay, great. So here now I can go down and generate add account entry prompts. So that's up here. Container ID, account entry, items container, get this. One thing we can do, inspect. And I'm getting a little bit better with inspect, of course, just using it. So we got our default error handler. It's giving us our payload. Cannot reprocess of undefined reading match. If I look for match, that's one thing. Matches, it's like it looks for this. So in this case, list name, institution. So this is where I would do something like console.log. Actually, no. Another way of doing this is like get account all, send. And then I can get all the accounts, right? So what it's actually looking for here is institution, accounts, account type primary, and account type secondary. And then it's going to do that. So there's nothing that it matched. It also doesn't tell me what line that I'm matching. So I could really, other than I only have this match in here. That's another thing in terms of error. It tells me the function, so that's good. So I can start in there. But if I had multiple matches or a very large function, that would suck, right? Or a very large function with a whole bunch of different regexes and stuff like that. Which match are you talking about? Which line is it on? Let me see if I just didn't realize what that is. Here we go. FAT86 default error handler, payload object. This is okay. Cannot read properties undefined. Okay. Generate add entry prompt. Cannot read properties of undefined reading match. Yeah, so there's nothing more that I can glean from this. I wish it would be a little bit more descriptive, like what calls what, what line is that on. It did say, 86, but that's fat.js. So that's just telling me my default error handler. So it's like I could have done that a better way as possible, because it's just calling that. So that sucks. I can do things where I can do some break statements or see, what the call stack looks like and then step through it as it goes along. And I could see what calls what and then find that. So that's another thing that would be nice. So for instance, yeah, we won't go there right now. But you can do some stuff in the dev tools that I've been like working on, experimenting on to get better and refining my use of dev tools. Also, there's a really good video on how to use dev tools as well. Let me find that. Free Code Camp and dev tools. Chrome developer tools. Sure. As well as, let me get the name. So this is an hour, 14-minute crash course. I have not watched the full thing yet, but definitely something is on my radar, on my list here. And boom. Cool. So yeah, this is on Free Code Camp. Check out their channel. Great stuff, great resource. A lot of stuff comes from that. A lot of stuff that my friends and I share, or actually one friend in particular, Arian, talking with him all the time about, this coding stuff. And we both go really deep and have like deeper conversations about everything. So that's like really fun stuff when I talk with him, and it's very informative. All right, cool. So I know that it's just not matching something in here, right? Like I know that that's the case. So list name match, and actually list name doesn't exist. So that's the problem. So what do I want to match though? I mean, do I even want to do any of this? Like, I mean, sorted list for each. Like, I don't need to do a for each. I just need to list it. Yeah, I don't really need to do this for each at all. This is based off of other code, of course, or code snippet taken from somewhere else for another thing. So capitalize first, and what I'll probably do is capitalize first letter list name instead of list name. No, list. I'll do control W, control R, and nano will do a search and replace. So I'm going to search for list, and I'm going to replace that with entry. In this case, I'll say yes, yes, and sorted list, no, and then yes on that one, and that'll be it for that. Now let's take out this search because I want it to actually have everything in there. So I don't need, or not the search, but let's take out this if statement because I needed to have every item in there. And move our indents old school way. I'll start using VS Code pretty soon, a lot more. So account type, entry name, replace account type with account type. So capitalize first character, list entry name, replace account type with what? Let's look at how this looks and why that made sense at the time. Oh, we can't. I'm screwed. Account type. I need to make unset capitalized first character entry name, replace, and that might not be a big deal because, you know, if it's not, then it is what it is. Options, sorted list. Weird. No, it doesn't. No, that's not. That's not weird. Generate options. Generate options will probably be our next problem that we have to deal with. So in this case, invalid array, string, list name. So we'll do another replace entry. So yes, yes to that one, no to that one. Yeah, a list. Sorted list is array. Huh, I don't know. I don't know what the sorted list, I don't know what that is. That list. So sorted list, the array is what's passed, and then where does list come from? Is that something that's in the function or in a sub function here? Array. So array, and then if I get, oh, okay. So if I do get list all and look at that endpoint, then I can see, oh, okay, it has all the lists in there. So in that case, I don't need that. In that case, I will cancel this, or no. Don't need that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. All right, cool. So I should say sorted list. Yeah, this is gonna be a problem. I gotta see what this produces. Well, let's try and compile this or interpret this in our head, right? Like step through it. So generate options. It's gonna take list name, right? So in this case, entry name. And let's see if that is defined somewhere else. So list entry name is string list name invalid string. So actually, let's do this. We don't need to produce anything right now. Well, we'll have it produce options at least, just in case there's, it depends if there's any error that gets returned if there's nothing placed, right? So we'll break this down, and list name is a valid string, so we'll do entry name. So that's a good check, or that's an okay check to use still here. And then what we're going to do is just console.log what is passed here. So we're going to console log array, and then another console log, and we can do this all in the same. In fact, let's just do that. We can console log array, and then we can also console log entry name. When we do entry name, all right, cool. So error reading undefined replace replace of undefined, and I know what that is. Entry name sorted list. E.entry name. E.entry name. No. I'm doing accounts, not entries. Okay, that's why. So that doesn't exist indeed. So I need to do account name as opposed to entry name. So let's do that. Let's get that going. It is what it is on that. Account name, replace account type with account type. No, we don't have to worry about that. I don't think I have to do the replace on that. That's just something I had to do because of the list that comes through. Okay. So that's 1 and 2. Now I need 1. Okay, good. Entry name. So even the sorted list, that's going to be off because I need to pass e.account account name. All right, cool. Yeah, so I was doing going a little bit too fast there and just not recognizing where I was here. So in this case, select class, ID. I'm going to have a different ID for this. The ID will be account names. Account name select. Yeah, we already do it like that. All right, cool. So account name select. That'll be the ID for that. And then all right, cool. So Equifax TransUnion, it created something for each one of those. So we don't want that, but that's cool. So it's 2 accounts, but what if it was like 100? That would be screwed up. We don't need that. But yeah, that's cool. All right. So honestly, we don't need this per se. We don't need like a select for each item in the sorted list. So we're going to change the way, or we're going to change what it gets done when. So, so sorted account list. So we just need to generate a select, really. Right? We just need to generate a single select that includes all of what we need. There includes the accounts. And I generate account, like account name and how that is a sorted list. Sorted list and account name. I don't even think we need to pass account name to it. Let's comment that out or create a new line or copy the line and then comment out the old line and just have a new line here. Sorted list, sorted accounts. So yeah, we'll do sorted accounts here. Generate, and then that means we have to go to sorted lists up here, wherever that is. Probably totally passed it. So sorted lists. All right, sorted accounts. So list.payload, I'm going to do if list.payload. Oh, I'm going to look for accounts though. So instead of accounts payload, cool, response data. Great. So there's that. And it's just renaming some stuff after this just to adapt it to what we're doing here. Accounts, payload, accounts, payload, sort. I'm gonna have to change the way I do my sort because yeah. Need to make custom sort function for this object. And let's see if we can do it now. All right, cool. So sort, it takes a function. So if you don't do anything, it'll just give it its own function. I think you have to do the actual function keyword, and then go from there. Let's see here. So let sorted. Let this just equal nothing. And then, excuse me, sorry about that. So this would be S. And accounts. This is just usually like quote unquote writing clean JavaScript, you know, and in terms of like just assigning stuff to variables or whatever. But in this case, what I need to do, let me look up a sort function, that sort. It's going to be like something minus something, and then I just got to have it assigned to the proper array or the proper key in the array, or the complexity of the, what's it called? The structure of the item in the array, or the array element. So you see how it's like has name. So I have to do something like this here. Yeah, there we go. So function takes A and B. That's what I was looking for. If it's A, B, and then when it takes A and B, you're going to return the value of one of them. Sort by value, so you can do the value. And then in this case, I'm sorting by name. So just copy and paste this here. And we'll just do that custom sort function. And we'll do it within, like we'll nest it within this here, because this is like the only place I plan on using this, you know, famous last words. Yeah, I'll probably use this somewhere else too. So I'll probably make this a part of the, add more abstraction to it, but I'll probably make this a part of the main.js file. I'm going to take this out. Let name a let. So sort function let it's the time during the morning tab indentation show. If accounts payload length is less than 1, we're gonna put this here so that matches up with that. Let name, and of course to do a proper match, yeah, we're gonna add this to the main.js. So nano server view public JS, and then fat.js, and we'll just do something at the bottom called, do we have any other sort functions in here? Sort is not found. So sort, yeah, so I'll probably use this in another place. Sort, function. Oh man, sort count names. Ooh, I can make this. Ugh, I don't know if I want to do that. Oh my god, we'll see. No, I don't want to do that. I can do stuff like using template literals and pass a parameter that says if it's like a list, you know, do this. If it's a, you know, I can make a big sort function that handles all different types, or I can just make it just for this thing. I'll just make it just for this thing so I don't have to change too much. I'm also trying to like really understand Uncle Bob's solid principle, or solid principles, and write my code in a solid, dry manner. So not reusing stuff and decoupling where necessary, things like that. So in this case, this takes A and B, and in terms of what I have in it, it'll be this. All right, move some stuff over now, right? Like that. This is where Daniel Tucker says, use Visual Studio Code. Shout out to Brother Tucker, of course. Okay, name B. And, just to explain a little bit, it converts the string to uppercase, and it does that because that's how you do a proper comparison. Like, if the string is different casing and all this other stuff, how can you really do a proper comparison? Because this is case sensitive, so you have to make it the same case. And the best way to do it is just make it uppercase. In terms of the structure of that, or the structure, but the key that I need, it's going to be account name. Uppercase, and it's going to make a comparison. It has to return 0 at the end of it, no matter what. So -1, -1, So like if A is less than B, return -1. If A is greater than B, do that, and then if none of those matches, then return 0, because it has to return something. Okay, so sort account names, and now I don't have to do so in this. Instead of this here, take all that out, and again I can make this a little bit cleaner, right? So sort account names, and when I pass that sort function, I don't have to actually put like a parentheses or anything like that, open and close parentheses. Oh, why is that there? I don't need that. So that should cycle through our array and sort it for us. You see, I don't pass anything here. It's a iffy here, and of course I can pass it here, but sorted accounts just comes out as an array. Oh my God, I saw like a freaking amazing Mustang today at the Ford dealership. I talked about that, I think, a little bit. I talked about the Mustang, but I saw the Saline Mustang. Freaking amazing. I just heard a car go by and it made me think about it. Mustang Saline. Excuse me. Again, pretty affordable because the truck is going to be around the same thing. Sorry for burping all over the place, but digesting. I think that's was it Mustang 2021, 2022. Was this it? Did it look like this? It didn't look anything like this. This is the Shelby. Yeah, it did nothing like this. Hell no. Damn it, I would want to buy that like immediately. I think that's like 72 freaking grand, to be honest. Oof. Yeah, I think it was pretty much this, but it was pretty sick in terms of the Mustang. Yeah, I don't think it actually was any of that. I don't think it had these like circles here. Did it have that? No, I don't think it had that. The Saline Mustangs. Oh man, it was crazy, beautiful, amazing. Yeah, I don't even think it had. I don't think it had these scoops or anything on the side. These air vents on the side. But yeah, everything was like this. I don't think it had this, but damn, it was freaking beautiful. I guess it's the 2020 Saline Boss. Ooh. Yeah, this is definitely it. That car is freaking sick. I'm not sure about this, but I assume it does. But that car was freaking amazing today. Just seeing that. Oh my goodness. Such a beautiful car. Such a beautiful car. But not functional, not what I need. Therefore, close tab. And we're gonna get that truck, baby. Yeah. So back to this. Sorted, it's gonna return S if accounts.payload length is 1 or is greater than or equal to 1, sort. Return empty array. So that means I don't need to put anything here for S. Just in terms of getting that out there. Return S to the accounts.payload. 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 Some error checking I could have done in this too. Yeah, I am using my structure or my predefined functions, just not for this sub function here. So return S or return blank. So if it's greater than or equal to 1, do this. It's like, why do that? Why sort it if it's just 1? So if equal to 1, just return S. Right? And then if it's greater than or equal to 1, well, let's just do this. Like, if it's just do this, if it's greater than 1, then sort it, and then return S. Else, return that. Okay, cool. Sort, and then else. There shouldn't be an else here, or there's no need to be an else. In terms of just like, I just don't need it because it should match one of these if statements. Or if it doesn't match one of these if statements, then goes on. So then I can do my sort here. Cool. Clean that up, and then going for other conditions or dealing with other conditions. And also, like, I don't need to process, like, if the accounts.payload length is equal to 1, then just return S. Like, I don't need to sort it. I don't need to go through that processing. And it probably wouldn't even do anything, and it wouldn't cause any type of performance hit or whatever. But it's just like, why do it? Like, just think efficiently as well. That is a bit of premature optimization, you could say, but it's really not. It's just kind of like, why would I do it? Like, it just doesn't make any sense to do that. And I could even say if it's greater than 1, like, if it's or if it's greater than 0, and I can actually cut that out. So yeah, I can cut it out. Like, if it's greater than 0, then run it, right? And then, if it's greater than 0. But if I just say if it's greater than 0, then why would I sort something that is just an array of 1? But that might just be a code hit. That might be a performance hit that I would take for sake of simplicity. So as long as it's greater than 0, do that. And then sake of simplicity, I just remove 1 line. But in my case, I want to do this. And it's about preference too on that too. Like, like, some people just won't care about it because the performance hit actually would be negligible. It wouldn't be a big deal. Like, it wouldn't be like, oh, okay, well, it hit 1, and if there's nothing else in the array. Like, you could even go even deeper and look if the sort array is even, or not the sort array, the sort function even cares, and if it does any checks, because it might just be like, oh, okay, just return A and call it a day. So you might not even have to worry about it. The more I think about it, it's just like, who cares? Like, they'll be okay. Like it's not like they have like an i1 processor, like some Atom processor. And even if they did have an Atom processor, like it would not kill this. Like this would even work properly on a Raspberry Pi and wouldn't kill it, you know. So as long as it's greater than 0, sort it. Otherwise, kill it. Because if it's equal to, if it's 0 or no, if it's as long as it's greater than 0, so 0.00009, then go ahead and run it. If there shouldn't be any partials, and go from there. And there's also no like math.flooring, so it doesn't round down, it doesn't round up either. It should just be one complete array. And it's just thinking about it. Like I don't even need to really think about that, but I do anyway. So if accounts.payload length is greater than 0, then sort it. Even if that equals 1, who cares? The hit will be like negligible. Oh, I need to take that out. And oof. To shorten this up even more, just return this. Like, why put a variable s? Just return it, and that's it. Again, you know, like you get rid of like some lines, you know, the performance hit would, you know, again, be negligible. I'm just thinking about this type of stuff, and I'm trying to be that kind of coder where I think about this a little bit ahead of time. As best as possible without like going through like crazy premature optimization. All right, so cool. Let's get back to it. Right, so I have an error of some sort here. It generates nothing. So missing our after argument list. Okay, so that's in the fat.js. One thing that's about this is that, oh, okay, that's not a runtime error. That is a syntax error, which will not be caught. So that's how that works. Where am I? What is the problem here? Oh, okay. I don't need this, and that's why. Unexpected token. Else select. Oh, okay. So else select. All right. Where was that? Down here. And I need to make that a part of HTML. Oh, what are we doing? There we go. There we go. Line that sucker up. I can't comment that out. Or I have to comment that out. And select class, sorted accounts, generate, so sorted accounts. All right, cool. Sorted list not defined. What are you getting? Okay. And then sorted list, count entry. So it's commented out. So where's sorted list? Sorted list n. If this, so sorted accounts. So sorted accounts. Where is that? Sorted accounts here. All right, great. Invalid string. All right, cool. So a string wasn't passed, and that's most likely all right, invalid string. All right, so I don't entry name. I'm not passing anything for that anymore for generate options. So I don't need that check. And I also don't need that. So if I go further down and look at generate options for my select, I'm only passing in sorted accounts, which would be the array. All right, let's see what we get here now. All right, good. So there, and then what I want is, ooh, what is this? What I want is, this here. Function array 2. All right, cool. So it gives me my 2 arrays, and then I can do whatever I need to here. No matching entry exists for fat. Okay, return. Oh, if I go here, then it gives me like my whole call, like the order and everything that was called. So at the beginning, this right here called it, and that's where the error came from. No matching list. So I threw an error by saying no matching list, and then add entry prompt. Oh, okay, cool. So that's fine. That's normal because I don't have anything in there. No, there's no entries. So then here, I got that. Good. All right. Take an array of lists counts. So now I'm not worried about that check. I have my array, which would be an account of arrays. And then we're going to rewrite this using the for of syntax. So for loop and then of, just using some new stuff, right? So for, we'll say I for item, I of R or ARR array. And then so for of array, and then that item, if, and then we can do whatever we need to do here. And that's just going to be a simpler syntax. So let's actually look that up. Actually, let me type it because I know it, but I just want to look it up, explain it to you guys, but I can also explain it while I'm doing it. So for of, it's a replacement and cuts down the level of verbosity or like how much text that you actually have to write. So let I equals 0, and then I less than array.length, and then increment I. You don't have to do that with the for of. It's already built into the array. It's already built into the loop itself. It's much like a for in to a certain extent. But in this case, I can do let I for item in this case instead of just like incrementing I. So let I. I don't even have to do. I think maybe I have to do let. We'll see. I can look it up too, but with this, I think I can do this. Yeah, I can just do that in shorthand. I don't have to do a let to define it. So now that item, instead of array I, it'll just be I for that item itself. And it just makes it a little bit simpler. So entry name. So if entry name equals I dot entry name, and I don't need the entry name in this case. I need to output an option. So let options, and then I need to add the option to it. All right, so yeah, we're just not going to use old code there. Yeah, I don't need to do that yet. Options, option value, sorted list O. So I don't need sorted list O because that was this here. And I don't need to go that deep into it. I need to do options. Do I even need to do? Yeah, I don't need to do value. The value should be I. No, the value should be I dot account because we're going through an array of objects. So I dot account name. All right, cool. So for I of array, and then options will be option. The value of that option will be I dot account name because I represents that actual object in that array, or the object in that array. And then I'm going to be doing the sub item of that key, or a key within that a key of that object. All right, cool. So I data count, like my mind goes all over the place, and I'm like thinking about something else outside of even coding. And it's just like I had this like, whole scenario that's playing in my head, like it's some damn movie. Like it's freaking crazy. It's like sometimes it's not like I'm thinking about what I'm doing. I'm just thinking about like something totally different that has nothing to do with the project. I really got to rein myself in sometimes. So there we go. All right, cool. So we're gonna keep that code just in case I have to use anything from this, but no, I shouldn't really need to. Ooh, excuse me. Crazy, like the difference all that stuff makes. So yeah, there we go. Equifax, TransUnion, sorted, and everything. So, but all right. So let's look at this. I have in this case I had 2 for loops. I only need 1 for this list. So we can't say, oh, okay, hey, I had this for loop and this for loop. No, there's like a purpose for that. But we can just look at this for loop and see how it's we don't have to do the let I equals 0 to set I to 0. And then, I, as long as we don't have to do the condition or I is less than array dot length, and then we don't have to increment. All of that gets replaced and is handled for us and abstracted away from us by just doing for I of and then the array itself. And that's pretty much it. Get rid of that. So let's look it up though and talk more about it. So for of the for of statement creates a loop iterating over iterable objects. So that could be things like, I think, collections and other things. So including built-in string array, array-like objects like arguments, node list, typed array, map, set, and other defined iterables. It invokes a custom iteration hook with statements to be executed for the value of each distinct property of the object. So we have a simple array of A, B, C. So that's array 1. So for const, and you can use const or let, oh, wow. We messed that up. So const, const element of array 1. And then now any element within the array 1 as it moves through that array itself, and at index 0, index 1, 2, so on and so forth, then I can console log that element out. All right, so for, and then this is what I was doing, the syntax. I didn't like actually define like a const or anything like that. I just said like, all right, cool, that's it. You can define a const so it doesn't change. You can also define a let, so for scoping, same thing with const. So with for variable of iterable, in this case, variable, on each iteration, a value of a different property is assigned to variable. Variable may be declared in const, let, or var. Iterable, object whose iterable properties are iterated. So in this case, if I wanted to do a multi for or something like that, I can do like or multi for of. I can and I've done this in other like something else, another project I was working on for my day job, and then um, item of array one, and then I can do another for of. It's just quote unquote cleaner, right? Like it just makes it a little bit cleaner for you to use. So now I can do SI, so that would be sub item of I, and then console.log SI, right? Like, something like that. So you can see how much cleaner this is instead of having like to say, let whatever, blah, blah, blah. When you're defining it, having conditionals and all this other stuff that goes along with that. I don't have to do that anymore by using the for of syntax instead of like a for loop and, iterating through that. Also, I like, and then with this, the part that's important about this is that now I can still use things like continue and break, which you cannot use in higher order functions, higher order functions such as a for each or even an every. In some cases, you want to break after the first match. Like there's no point in going any further or something like that, or if a conditional is reached. You can do things like return, but then what if I wanted to continue on to the next thing? That's where a for loop is used. So now it's giving us kind of like for each shortness in terms of syntax, or not syntax, but shortness in terms of verbosity is what I want to use, but shortness in terms of what you actually have to write. It's given us that shortness that you get with like for in or higher order functions like for each or dot for each. But then you also get the functionality of a for loop or a standard for loop with your conditionals and your incrementing variable and all this other stuff. You get break and then you get continue. And that's useful when you're actually like working with code and you want to continue on to the next one, right? So it's like, okay, if it matches this, break. If it matches this, then continue on to the next one or what have you. All right. So, but that's like the importance of using a for of, and that's kind of how it benefits you in the long run in terms of like when you're putting stuff in there or using it actually. So I have this value. The problem is I'm not getting anything. I'm not getting a title here. So there's that. So I got my generated options. One thing I'm not doing is, so that would be why I need this here. So unset important block 5 call ND 1 2 3 3. How many links does it take to get to the center with the default? And then 1 2. Mr. Owl. Excuse me. This stuff here. Yeah, it's off a little bit. I don't know why it's off. Oh, maybe I don't need to add it. It gets added later somewhere else. Yeah, maybe I don't need to add that. We'll see. We shall see. But yeah, let's get rid of that. Right? Did I erase too much? All these questions and more shall be answered once I save this file. Oh, and then we don't need this. We're just going to put, we don't need to like do a template literal for this. We're just going to put account name or account. So that's the account that this entry is associated with. Oh, do I need that? It's bothering me whether I should have this or not. We'll just try it without it and see what happens. Boom. Doesn't look like it, but I've been known to be wrong about that stuff. Oh, okay. Margin top, margin bottom. Yeah, let's just look at it. The element itself. Well, let's do this. So call MD. I think it adds it. Expand recursively. Okay, so what am I doing? Again, like my brain went somewhere else. Oh my god, I'm so horrible with that. Oh my gosh, this is so bad. Margin 5, called deflex. Oh, that's what it is. It's the span that I don't. Is it? No, it's not the span. It's not. Oh, that's why. I don't need to do this because. All right, cool. That's mainly why. Let's see here. There we go. That's why it's like off, and that's why it's okay, but it's off because I thought I had like multiple divs, or I thought I had 3 divs instead of 2, and I only have 2. So, and it's the span that was throwing me off. All right, cool, got that done. Again, another reason for D Tucker to say like, hey, use Visual Studio Code. All right, so that's good. Scoop diddy boop, scoop diddy boop diddy boop. All right, so yeah, we're at the 2 hour and almost 2.5 hour mark. So I'm gonna end it there. There's some changes I gotta put up here. Let's get that stuff done. Let's go ahead and get add -p period. And we're gonna do empty list payload. I think this was sorted account. So yes, and yes, all that, and that's all we did. Freaking me just talking. Get commit, and we are going to do. What is the name of the stream? Let's get that. Where were we? What's it called? Find entry prompt fields and retrieve accounts list. And what if the accounts list is 0? Ooh, how are we going to figure that out? What are we going to do with that? Oh my God. You know, like, do we do no accounts? I mean, what do we do? What do we do? So that'll be something. That'll be something for sure. Do you have anything for that? Like, okay, counts all. Maybe I need to add something where it's like, okay, if response data, return response data. So I can do console.log response. I want to figure this one out. Oh man, maybe I could reset it. Yeah, we'll just reset it. Yeah, we'll just reset it. It'll probably reset the head of this thing. Let me copy and paste this commit message here. Maybe I'll save that. We'll see. Oops, wrong one. This case. No, X, and then no. Reporting commit due to empty commit message. All right, cool. So then I can go through and do this again. So extended, encore. Elaine, great session, Young Grizzly. Thanks again. Oh man, I appreciate you always listening, bro, and coming through, and then also commenting on different videos and things like that. Like I like sharing information, man, and I like that you guys are getting some type of value out of it. I'm gonna go a little bit longer here because this is something that I want to kind of fix ahead of time. So, for instance, if there's no account that shows up, then I want it to throw an error, or if my response doesn't have an account in it, then I wanted to throw an error and go from there. So account all. So get account all. So try get account all. Modify entry or accounts. So let accounts, and then okay. If I have no accounts, then I wanted to spit out. You need to add an account and go to this page or something like that. But yeah, thanks, Elaine, and I appreciate you guys always showing up and like listening and picking up the information. It's cool for me. And then also do your research while you're doing research while you're doing this, and research what I say and say, hey, listen, Mike, that's wrong or something like that. Mr. Tucker's great about that, and he also gives a lot of other information too. He's a wealth of knowledge, and I'm hoping to do some work with him here in the future. But he's he's busy with work. All right. All right. Cool. So what we're gonna do is our response.data. Our response should look like this. So we'll do it'll be like data.payload. Yeah, let's see if we could just write this without having to go through all that. But and we'll do it if it has something. So if response.data.payload dot length is greater than 0, then I wanted to throw an error. So throw, and then in this case, our error when it throws, it gives us a pop up. So throw, please enter an account, or no accounts found. No, or I can actually do like message, right? So hold on, let me just do this, because then there's messages that I don't have to write. So if I do add, no, I need to do a get, or I need to look at get. And then for count endpoints, if I don't have anything, I should do no matching accounts exist. No matching accounts exist. And that should be my message. So I should throw that message. Yeah, I should throw response.data.message. Yeah. So data message, boom, greater than 0. All right, great. And then it won't return. It won't even get to this. It shouldn't process anything else. Well, so we'll see how that all works. Oop. Boom, function, generate error, accounts payload that sort is not a function. Okay, great. Sort is not a function, and I needed to throw something. Payload.sort is not a function. I don't even need it to get to that. Or I don't want it to get to that. I want it to throw the message. Throw the message. Throw the message. So if length payload is greater than 0, great. So I gotta like, I gotta response data. Oh, hold on. Let me see what it does. Yeah, it does it, but that's not the only thing it does. And it doesn't stop there. And I want it to stop there. Okay. Error, pop-up handler. I think what it does is because of the suite alerts, it's just popping that up last. It's not a function. Okay. Is not a function. Is not a function. Is not a function. Generate add account prompt. Data that payload. All right, let's do this. Let's it's not giving me my response.data.payload because that doesn't exist. Is there anything else that doesn't exist? So I got success, message, and then my payload. All right, cool. So I do have stuff, right? So, but payload.length, payload is an array. If it's greater than 0, if response greater than 0, throw a response message, right? So in this case, the message is success. And it does it. Like it does it. But let's see what shows up here. This payload is not a function. It doesn't do any. I want it to stop at that point. Let me just research this real quick. Stop all other execution after throw. Stopping function after expression. Void error handler, try. Answer, try. Is it code functions you want to halt execution? So after a throw, error handling, throw. So I have my pop-up error handler here. I guess it just keeps on going. So I can do and then I can also do a return. No, I can do a throw. That's what it's telling me to do here. So if I just do a double throw, unexpected token. Why is that unexpected, huh? Ah! How could you not expect that? I have to put it on different lines, bro. Come on. That's just so password. Throw. Response. All right, cool. See you here. Okay, I guess it's expecting a string. Huh. Okay. So, wow. So I have to like throw after I do my throw. So that's kind of crazy because then it gets, so it gets caught by the next error handler after the catch because this right here. So if anything, I should just throw this. Yeah. Because it'll get caught by the next error handler. Error success. Function error success. So I should throw this, but then I should throw dot. Oof. Ooh, what is that? Because that returns another pop-up. The pop-up error handler. I forgot how I structured that. So fat default error handler, and then the pop-up error handler, it returns error. Yeah, so it should return error. So if it returns error, I can do. Oh wait, what is error? Error is return error. Where's error? Error is passed. Just passed in. So I can just return error. Throw. Ooh, I don't like how it's like, error function generate error function, like that's just annoying. And I don't want to change the way my pop-up error handler works. I don't think this is kind of worth it. Because I could throw something else. So in this case, what I can also throw is, yeah, I can throw something like custom here, but yeah, I'll just keep it. I'll keep the pop-up error handler there. And then what I'll throw is I don't have access to response, but I do have access to E. So I can throw that. Yeah, I'll just go back to what I was before. Error success. Yeah, error function prompt. Error function. Damn, that's a confusing. And then error success. Oh man. console.log E. I just want to know what E is, because I think E is an object. Write this shit, you just fucking forget it. It's just success. Yeah, just throw E. Yeah, and it's doing that. I know why it's doing that, though. It's doing that because the next try catch block is going to catch a different way. So, to be honest, how should I? Error success. Yeah, that's fine. It's confusing looking, but it's fine. I'll leave it like that. I just wanted to do that if it equals 0. If the length equals 0. Yeah. So if the length equals 0, throw data.message. Ooh. And I want to do an OR here because my accounts, my payload. So like if response.payload or response.data dot damn, there's a lot I can do here. So throw, if it's 0, then I should have no matching accounts. So I don't even have to do this 0 thing here. Just don't, because I already have system in place for this type of stuff. So if status equals failure, then throw whatever data.messages, and that would be it. And I could do something else too, right? It's like if it's this, then I don't even have to do this pop-up error handler. If it's failure, then I can avoid this, right? Like I don't have to throw anything. Oh no, I will have to throw because I want to stop execution. Yeah, I want to stop further execution, so I will have to throw. Cool. If failure, boom. Because then I could do if success. Prompt generating prompt success. All right, cool. And it gives me the same output, right? I can even throw I can just throw the message, which I did. So that's fine. Let's test here. If I wanted to just do a pop-up error handler and have everything go in the same way, I can do right, and then instead of throwing this, I throw nothing. Oh, it won't do anything. Look at that. Yeah, it won't do anything. Still have to. Okay. There we go. Cool. That's it. That's it. I swear. All right, that's it. All right, cool. Yes. All right, and then we're gonna do this. Get, and then push treestarsystems, and then let me get my key schedule. Golly, come on, are you serious? Stop moving. Cool. Guys, thank you as always. Make sure you're taking a chance every day to grow, get better, find ways to improve yourself and also improve the people around you. Been doing a lot of talk with people around me, and you find out a lot of people just don't think they have the options or possibilities for things like home ownership. Met a guy the other day, and just met him in the parking lot, and we just struck up a conversation. Found out he's from Fort Lauderdale too. I invited him over. We talked for like quite a bit of time and just like chopping it up. And then I started talking to him about getting the house and everything. He's like, yeah, I rent. Now the guy's starting to go through the process of possibly becoming a fucking homeowner, bro. And it's just so huge because he just didn't know about the USDA loan program, how this era is considered rural. So he's like, he's like, whoa, now like it's like within his grasp, or at least he's on the trail to say, okay, I need to fix this, I need to fix that. Share information, give out information where you can. You don't have to give up your personal information to give up good advice and good information. I do it because it adds a little bit of authenticity, transparency, and then also I serve as an example in so many different ways. But with all that being said, guys, man, anything I say, take it with a grain of salt. If you're not taking it with a grain of salt, you're low on sodium. Do your research, find out more things about the things that I talk about, for of loops, for of loops, for in loops, and whatever else I talk about and whatever I do. Just try and find ways to actually make yourself better by criticizing and scrutinizing me. I shall make that sacrifice and be the scapegoat for that, if you will. All right, guys, thank you so much. Peace.